Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Georgie and I'm 25 weeks and 4 days pregnant, and today's video is going to be a story time about how I told my boyfriend that I was pregnant and we were going to have a baby.
Look into my eyes and show me your adventures I haven't seen. Taking all the life, it hits the spot. Walking on fantasy. So take me, baby.
Okay, so of course I have to give you guys kind of like a backstory of our relationship and how we felt about getting pregnant before we actually got pregnant. You guys know I like to talk a lot and I tend to ramble, so this might be a long video. Just get you some snacks and something to drink. It's gonna be okay. Try not to bore you guys to death. But me and Michael have been dating since 2015, and we moved in together in August of 2016. So we did move kind of fast, but it was what it was. I was 18, he was 19, and we moved into a not so great apartment in a not so great neighborhood. But you know, it was a learning experience, and at the time that was the only place that we could get into, because in the state of Alabama you do have to be 19 to be put on a lease, and so therefore my income wouldn't count on any of the applications that we filled out for better apartments and so on. Anyways, so when we first moved in together, I had baby fever really, really bad. And the problem with the girl having baby fever, because I feel like that's kind of normal, is that Michael was totally on board. He always joked around about how he couldn't wait to get me pregnant and how I was going to be his baby mama and all this stuff. So since we started dating, he's always talked about being a dad, and he's always been very supportive about it. And we haven't been trying to get pregnant, but we also have not been using precautionaries either. TMI, whatever, it's okay. When you're pregnant, you can talk about literally anything. Nothing grosses you out. So the baby fever was kind of off and on. It came and went over time. But I will say that every time we did get kind of like serious about having a child, something semi-bad would happen, and we'd be like, oh, you know, thank God that I didn't get pregnant, because what would we have done? You know, why would we bring a child into this situation? I will say anyone who knows me and Michael and has followed us on our journey knows that things haven't always been perfect between us. We have been off and on and ups and downs, and I'm not gonna say like stuff that everybody goes through, because we've been through a lot, but it just made us stronger in the end. So all that bad stuff is irrelevant. What I'm trying to say though is that it wasn't our time. So in 2018, like middle of 2018, we were back together and we were solid again from one of our breaks, and it made me think of our family. And I knew that the place that we were living, I didn't want to live. It wasn't somewhere that I wanted to raise a child. And instead of trying to find someplace else to rent, since I was a little bit older and I had credit established, I was 20 by this time, that maybe we should try to buy a house. So I called up my Nana and I was asking her about things. She said, you know, go to the mortgage place, yada, yada, yada. And long story short, we ended up finding the place that we're in now. It's actually a townhouse, but it's a really nice townhouse in a nice community, and just a lot safer, a lot quieter, just a lot better foundation to be bringing in a child. So now that you guys kind of know the backstory, let's get to the reason you're actually here for this video. And that is, how did I tell Michael when that test did come back positive? Let's fast forward to December of 2019. Okay, so we're all moved into our house. We've been there for, I don't know, like 10 months, whatever. and it's the holidays. So Christmas break has arrived. Everyone's off work. The kids are out of school. Me working at the movie theater was really, really busy. And I was the most stressed out I think I've ever been. Like, my irritability was at an all-time high. I was yelling and getting on to my employees, my coworkers. I would come home. I would fight with Michael. I didn't even want to be around my friends. Tucks annoyed me. Literally, the littlest thing would just set me off, and I blamed all of this on stress because of the holidays and Christmas, whatever the case may be. Working so much, didn't think anything of it. Then we get through that. It's like the beginning of January. It was after January 7th. I think it was like around January 10th or whatever. I was at work, and it was the end of the night. We were doing the deposit. My day was fine. I didn't feel weird throughout the day or anything. But at the end of the night, when we were actually in the office doing the deposit, I was eating a spearmint, and all of a sudden, I just felt sick to my stomach. I eat mints all day long, but this one night in particular, the spearmint just made me want to throw up. Like, I did not like it at all. So when I finally get off work, I text Michael. I'm like, hey, I'm off. I'm going to go by the store and get a pregnancy test on my way home. Now, I passed Walmart going home, but I wanted to go to Walgreens because, one, it was closer to our house, and two, Walmart is so big. Walgreens, I can go in. It's a little bit more expensive. I can get what I need and leave. Like, I was just trying to go home. I did not feel good. So he tells me that he doesn't want me to get a pregnancy test. The reason being is because I have taken so many pregnancy tests after not having my period for weeks and weeks and weeks and having all of the symptoms of being pregnant, just for the pregnancy test to come back negative. And I would get upset. I would cry and I would freak out, and I would always think that there was something wrong with me, and I'd feel really bad about it. So Michael got to the point he just didn't like me taking pregnancy tests. He didn't like to see me get all upset and worked up and whatever. So he was against it, but whatever. I was like, no, I'm doing this. So I start driving home. I get past Walmart, and this man calls me. Now, him and his friend are outside. They're working on the speakers in the car, whatever, and they ended up blowing a fuse. So he's like, hey, can you go into Walmart and just get me this fuse when you get your test? I'm like, I already told you I'm not going to Walmart. He's like, well, why can't you just go to Walmart? Because I already told you I'm not going to Walmart. So he kind of like gets irritated with me, and he's like, fine, like, we'll just go, yada, yada, yada. So I'm like, you know what, dude, it's whatever. So I pull into Walgreens, I go in, I get my test. It's $14, by the way. And then I come home, nobody's home. It's just me. Again, I still don't really think I'm pregnant. I'm just trying to rule this out because I'm trying to figure out why I don't feel good. So I go into the downstairs bathroom. I go pee on the stick, whatever. Put the stick on the counter. Finish up, yada, yada, yada. I go to throw the pregnancy test away. Like, there's one solid line, and I'm like, okay, I'm not pregnant, whatever. When I pick the test up, I see something else. I see a very faint pink line. Very, very faint. Like, so faint, I didn't even know if I was seeing it right. And I'm going to insert, it's in the beginning, but I'm also going to insert the pictures here. I'm looking at it like, no, is that? It can't be. And I'm like getting excited, but I'm trying really hard to tell myself that I'm just seeing stuff. So I send the pictures and I send the video over to Michael's sister. Now, before I got pregnant, I told myself I wanted to surprise everybody. I wanted to surprise Michael. I wanted to make a video, do something cute. I wanted to buy presents for my sister and his sister, saying you're going to be an aunt. I wanted this to be like a big surprise and everything. But in that moment, I was like, screw that. I need a second opinion. I texted my sister, but she was asleep. So I sent the stuff over to Michael's sister, and she right off the bat was like, aw, congratulations. Like, she saw it instantly, like no second guess, whatever. So I'm like, you really think I'm pregnant? She's like, yeah. So of course I get on Google. I'm like, are these tests accurate? And Google's like, you should not trust a Walmart pregnancy test. There's a lot of false positives. Like, Google's giving me bad reviews. So now in my head, I'm like, what do I do? I text his sister. I'm like, what do I do? Like, do I tell him? Yada, yada, yada. And, you know, of course, she's like, that's up to you. I'm like, girl, like, I just started freaking out. So I go upstairs and I'm still just looking at this test. Like, I'm starting to tear up because I'm really telling myself, like, this is it. Like, this is real life. This is it. And I couldn't help but to be excited. Like, I couldn't. And then the garage door opens. Okay, so they're home. They're here. And my heart's beating through my chest. I don't even feel sick anymore at this point. I'm just like freaking out. And he's downstairs for a really long time because they were putting the new fuse in, you know, whatever. And he does come upstairs, but when he walks in the room, he doesn't really look at me. Like, he's just talking about the speakers and he's really excited. So I'm on the bed, like, silently crying, like waiting for him to see me crying. And he looks up and he comes over and he gives me a hug and he's like, it's okay. It's okay that the test is negative, you know, it's okay, baby. Like, you know, we'll try again and stuff. And I kind of smile and I'm like, no, I think it's positive. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I think the test is positive. He's like, he's confused because he didn't think I was pregnant either. So he's like, are you sure? Like, what do you mean? So I go into the bathroom and I brought the test upstairs with me. So I go into the bathroom and I pull the test out and I'm showing it to him. And he was just like, so happy, but so calm. Like, not the reaction I thought I was going to get at all. But he was just like, oh, like, you're pregnant. Like, he was just so nonchalant about it. Like, he was happy, but just so accepting. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. He was like, yeah, I'm going to be a dad. So, anywho, that was the night that I told him. I did want him to go get a test from Walmart that said pregnant or not pregnant for me to take in the morning instead of doing the one with the lines because I just wanted a clear answer. So him and his friend actually went back to Walmart that same night and got me the test, and I took that one in the morning. And when that one came up and just said pregnant, I was ecstatic. And that's when Michael really got excited because we both knew for sure that I was pregnant. It wasn't a false positive. It was just the best day of our entire lives. And of course he wanted to go and tell everybody after that. I'm like, no, we have to keep this between us until, you know, further along. I want to get out of the first trimester and whatever. But that's how we found out. That was his reaction. And now here we are already. I'm almost in my third trimester. So really we're like 3/4 of the way through this. And we're having a baby boy and things just could not be better.